Wait till something grabs our eye.
I hope you can hear me over the fan in my bathroom. It turns on when the light's on. It's kind of annoying, but so anyway, it's a little later, and I've actually reset up the bird in my bathroom because the cat and the dog were just bothering him like way too much. So I've got him set up in the bathroom. I've got his cage set up like this. This is my bathroom stuff. So set up there, and then there's the mat that I've got still there. So anyway, yeah, I decided to reset him up in here, and I'm just trying to do a little bonding with him now. It's the next day. I had him out for a little bit last night. Last night I reached into the cage and I took him out. He kind of fluttered around, and it was kind of hard to get him to come out, but once he did come out, I did hold him a little bit and pet him, and he actually fell asleep in my hand, and it was really cute. That was just because I wanted to, have that first day where he actually gets to know me a little bit, and I couldn't convince him to come out of the cage at all, so I was like, you know what, I'm just going to go in and get you. I'm sorry if you don't like it, but I'm sure you'll like me when I take you out and give you lots of love. So, I did that, and it was good. And he's actually behind me now. He's out of the cage. Today, I couldn't really convince him to come out. I did kind of work up to, I was putting my hand in there, and I just kind of reached my hand in the cage slowly and just tried to get like closer and closer to him, and he like would kind of walk away, and then if I just kept my hand still, he would kind of come back, and I was doing it like while he was eating, so he would be sitting on his little dish here. So yeah, there we go. There's his little food dish. So he would be sitting on his little food dish over there, and I would just kind of reach my hand in while he was sitting there, and he would kind of like hop off of his food dish as my hand got closer and kind of crawl up the side of the cage a little bit. And then if I kept my hand real still, he would kind of hop back down, go and pick at his food some more. And every time he was picking at his food, I would just kind of get my hand a little bit closer like this, just real slow. And eventually it got to where he was sitting on the dish right here, and my hand was just here. And I just left my hand real still, just like this, while he sat here. I didn't try to touch him or anything. I was just trying to get him used to my hand being in the cage and around him and stuff. So that's kind of what I'm doing now, to try to like train him to just get used to hands being around him, because these could be intimidating when you're a little bird that's tiny. So I'm trying not to rush him too much. What I did was I just left the room and closed the door, and I left the cage open here. So I just left this open here, and then there's another one on the side here. And then I left that open there so he can like hop off right onto the counter if he wants. And so I just left those open, and then I left the room and shut the door so that the cat and dog can't get in here. And I just walked away for a little while, probably about 15-20 minutes. And then I heard some fluttering and some tweeting in here, so I came back to check, and he did leave his cage. So he's out now. And I'll show you guys what he's doing. He's just kind of hopping around in the tub. He likes to go in the bathtub for some reason. So that's what I did last night, is I literally just like sat in the bathtub with him while he wandered around. So there he is in the bathtub there. So he's just kind of wandering around, and I'm probably going to go and hop up in there with him for a minute and see if he'll climb on me a little bit like he did last night. He's really cute. I don't know if you can see, he's got a nice peach face. He's a peach face lovebird, and he's got his little peach face, green body. He's got kind of like a more yellow green underneath, and then you can see his tail feathers there, and that kind of goes all the way up his back.
Oh, careful, bud.
Okay, so he was trying to go back in his cage for a little bit, but I don't know if you can see, look at those tail feathers, how beautiful those are. Like, he's all these different colors. He's completely beautiful. So he's got like this blue turquoise with red and like all these colors in his tail. See that? And then he's got this yellow on his head. And so this would probably be a good time to reveal his new name. We're gonna call him Halo because I was trying to stick with kind of like the rainbow theme. And a halo is, you know, pretty much the same thing as a rainbow. Rainbow is a type of halo. It's caused from, you know, refractions of light through moisture in the sky. That's what causes halos as well. You know, a halo as in the natural sense of when you get like a halo around the sun, a halo of light, that kind of thing. So I was trying to stick with like the same kind of theme of his name because his name was Rainbow when I got him. And I don't know, I just feel weird like calling him Rainbow. And it's not me. I'm not like sunshine and rainbows. It's not the kind of person I am. So, I mean, rainbows are nice, don't get me wrong, but it's just not me. So, so like I said, I was trying to kind of keep with the theme, but also he's got this. He's moving around.
Whoop, careful, buddy. Careful.
So he's got this little yellow spot on his head, and it's kind of like, you know, the halo. He's having fun exploring, at least. Hi! So he's got this little yellow spot on his head that's kind of like the halo of an angel. And he's my little angel, I guess, huh? Huh? Also, what's funny is, hi! That's how I talk to her. I used to be so much better at making that noise when I was a kid when I had Lovebird. So yeah, when I went to pick up his cage, I got the cage from a woman who has African gray parrot, and she was sick and she had trouble like helping me move this huge, I don't know if you can see how big this cage is, but it's a pretty big cage for a Lovebird. I just wanted him to have a nice big cage, but she couldn't help me move the cage, and I was trying to move it like by myself. I was trying to move the cage by myself, so I had, you know, I was dragging it outside like through the snow to my car, and there was this woman who was walking out in the neighborhood that I was getting it from, and she comes over and it's this like sweet, kind of like, not old lady, but she was old enough, you know, 60s, possibly 70s. And she came and she helped me move the cage, and I was really, really grateful. And I kept trying to thank her and said, you know, you don't have to do this, oh my god, you know, like, oh my god, you don't have to do this is so nice of you. And she's just like, oh, I'm doing the Lord's work, you know, just doing what's called upon me. I do whatever, you know, whatever the Lord strikes me to do. So I'm not like a God person, but I think that's really sweet. And that lady definitely had a halo over her head that day because she was a little bit of an angel. She was an angel to help me with that. And this little birdie's a sweet little angel too. And I just think, I don't know, the little stars all kind of lined up with what was happening that day. And his name, Rainbow. I kind of wanted something, I didn't want to go too far outside the lines of what his name was. And halo at least kind of rhymes, so I can still call him like my sweet little halo rainbow. My sweet little rainbow of halos. Huh? Are you a sweet little rainbow? So we're just trying to get him used to me. I've got him out of my cage, he's kind of fluttering around. He's getting a little more used to being around me, huh? Yeah? You want to hop on? You might. You might. Yeah. Oh, no, he's a little scared. Okay, buddy, you don't have to. So yeah, it's just, he's, you know, slowly more and more, I'm letting him explore me. I'm not forcing him to do anything. I'm just putting my arm there, and if he wants to hop on, he can. If he wants to fly away, he can. Let's try to go in the drawer, though. You're gonna get stuck in there. Lovebirds live for a really long time, so, you know, I'm not worried about, we got plenty of time to bond. So lovebirds live for about 10 to 15. I've even heard of some living till 20 years old. They are in the parrot family, so they live a while. So he's only 11 months old, like I said, so we've got plenty of time to bond and be friends. And I don't want to rush him. I want to make a good first impression. Start out on the right foot and build trust with my birdie. So we've got him in the bathroom. I think this is going to be a good place for him just because none of the other animals can get at him. And it's actually really warm in here too, because if I shut the door, the radiator heats. We got the radiators down here and there's one over there. And when I shut the door in here, the heat from the radiator kind of gets like stuck in this room, and this room gets really hot. It kind of keeps heat from going into my bedroom, which kind of sucks, but at least this room gets nice and warm and toasty because he is obviously a tropical type of bird. So yeah, I'm very excited to have him. I don't know if you guys know, I had a bird when I was a kid named Ace, and that bird my dad actually found, like, roaming the streets of Boston when I was a little kid. We named him after Ace Ventura because my dad literally found him roaming the streets of Boston when I was a little kid and brought him home to us. He was obviously someone's family pet because one, he had his wings flip, and also he was very, like, well trained, very well mannered, hand tame, like, super friendly. I mean, I kind of feel bad for whoever lost him, but, like, their loss is my gain, I guess. And I had that bird for probably like 6 or 7 years. I don't know how old he was when I got him. He was obviously an adult, and, you know, was so well trained that it's like you would think years of training had gone into him. So we found out that if you, like, in order to get him out of the cage, we found out that if you, like, took a pillow or, like, something like this, you would hold it out like this, like, hold it up in the air. If he was flying around, you would hold it like this, and he would just, like, if he saw this kind of thing, just like any sort of pillow or flat fabric object, he would, like, swoop down to it and land on it like a perch. So I don't know, like, how we realized, I forget how we realized that, but he was trained to come to, like, some sort of flat pillow type thing, and that's how we would get him back in his cage, because we would just let him, like, free fly around the house. Obviously we let his clipped feathers grow back because his wings were clipped when we found him. But yeah, we had that bird for many years, and he was like my best friend. He would sit on my shoulder, he would dance to music. If you put on music in the house, he would dance back and forth, like, these are his little feet. He'd go dance back and forth and go like, this is called the bird dance. But yeah, that's what he would do. It was really fun to watch, and especially if you have music and him on your shoulder, and then watching him, like, dance back and forth on your shoulder, like, what are you doing? So he was a good little guy, and I missed him a lot, and that's kind of what inspired me, I guess, to get a new lovebird. I'm kind of, like, in this phase where I'm, like, reliving parts of my childhood, and kind of, like, I don't know, I feel like I haven't gotten to, like, enjoy lots of parts of my life when I was, let's not go there. I don't know, when I was a teenager, I got into drugs and all that, and had mental issues, and when I was young, I was in such a depression, like, due to family fighting and just dysfunctional whatever, that, like, even when I was happy, it wasn't, like, the best. Like, it was, like, happiness, but, like, this background stuff lingering. So I don't know, I want a chance to be really happy and enjoy the things that I know I used to enjoy back in the day. I know I really used to enjoy having my birdie. I used to let him out of the cage, like, all the time. At least when I had Ace. Ace is the first bird I had when I was little, and I got him probably, my dad found him when we were, like, 7 maybe. I was, like, 7 or 8, and he passed away when I was, like, 13. So like 8 or 9 to 13 I had him, and he was a great bird. What was I talking about? So yeah, that was Ace, my first bird, and he was the great one, and then he passed away. It, like, destroyed me. I'll show you a journal entry from when I was a kid.
So this was my old journal that I found. It's the Lion King, very on brand. And you can see it actually starts in December 1994. It looks like I probably got it for Christmas. So this is probably a journal that I got, like, for Christmas when I was, like, 8. But I do know that I had written in here about Ace, my first lovebird. So I'm going to turn to that page here. And this is it. It's my horrible writing when I was a kid. So I'm just going to share that journal entry with you guys. So here it is, and this was November 9th, 1999. So it says, "Today something terrible happened. Today my wonderful lovebird Ace died. Ace was named after Ace Ventura the movie, and I loved him so much. I cried and cried, and I couldn't stop. I still cry at the thought of Lenny's death." Lenny was my rabbit that I had when I was, like, 7, 6, 7, 8, like before I moved to Florida. I had Ace at the same time that I had Lenny, but Lenny passed away like a couple years before Ace died. I used to get, and I still am kind of the same way, like if I cry about one thing, I'll just start crying about like everything in the world. So that was just a little backstory of that. So I still cry at the thought of Lenny's death sometimes. I have decided to dedicate these journals to Ace, Lenny, Cottontail, Thumper, my Leopard the fish, number 1, 2, 3, and 4. Oh my god. So that's another thing. I used to keep buying these fish with black spots on them, and I would name them Leopard. And they would like just die like very suddenly, not that long after getting them. So I had like many Leopard the fish. It was like Leopard 1, Leopard 2, Leopard 3, Leopard 4. And now as an adult, I realized that when goldfish get black spots on them, it means they have a disease. So don't adopt a fish from the pet store that has black spots on it. It means they're diseased, and that's why they kept dying. Let me see. Cottontail and Thumper were bunnies that my dad told me had run away, but he actually rehomed them without my knowledge. So, like, I actually probably would have preferred knowing that he rehomed them than thinking of them, like, out in the world having run away, but, like, he didn't want to tell me that he did that behind my back. Yeah, I would have preferred knowing that they, like, actually got a good home. It's my dad. So, my dad. Anyway. Oh my goodness. Okay. Too much backstory. Anyway, so I've decided to dedicate these journals to Ace, Lenny, Cottontail, Thumper, my Leopard the fish, number 1, 2, 3, and 4, and to Tippy. Tippy was my cat, but she was still alive. She actually lived for 20 years, and she just passed away a couple of years ago. I wrote this journal when I was like 12, and I'd already had Tippy for a few years, and Tippy literally just passed away like a couple years ago. So she lived to be 20 years old. Very awesome, healthy cat. So, but I guess I was just dedicating my journals to like all of my animals. Because that's how I roll. May peace be with those that are dead, and love with them all. Tippy, as I am glad, is still with us, and I am grateful. I will go online and tell of what has happened. We were going out to pick up Mike, Anthony, and some bird food, and when we got home, Ace was dead. My mom thinks he had a heart attack, but I am not sure. I hope he didn't feel any pain. At least now I know what I want for my birthday or Christmas. A new pet to carry on the name of one of my dead pets. Which I never named a new pet after a dead pet. I've never done that in my life, so I don't know what I was thinking here. I think I was just weird and emotional. But I will always remember you, Ace. I hope you love me too. It wasn't my fault that you died. Please forgive me. I cannot stop crying. I missed you already. I love you, both Ace and Lenny. Ace, I didn't think you'd ever die. I missed you so much. Sadly signed by my name in cursive, and I actually circled this little area here where it says teardrop. So you can actually see kind of the whole page is very like wet. You can see like the ink has like run on the whole page. I don't know if you could see. It's easier to see in person how much, but the ink has like run on the whole page, and I was like literally bawling. Like this whole page was soaked with my tears. And yeah, I was devastated when I lost that damn bird. So
Like, I don't know, that bird passing away. I came home one day and just found him dead, like upside down in his cage. I think I don't know if it was old age or he had a heart attack. I don't know. I feel like I read something back in the day that like if they have too many sunflower seeds, it's very not good for them and they can get like liver problems or something. I don't know. I've like always blamed myself for that, but I also don't know how old he was. So, and also I was a child and I couldn't go to the store to like get him new food. I don't know. It's hard, but I mean that was many years ago. If we're gonna blame myself, then too bad, I guess. I'm not gonna blame myself for something that happened like 20 years ago at this point. So, but yeah, that was Ace, my first bird, and a few years after he passed, we tried to get another bird, and that was Noelle, and she was a peach-faced lovebird, but she was just yellow colored. Ace was more colored like rainbow, but he wasn't like as bright. Halo over here is beautiful. Like he has like all of these different colors, so I kind of get why they call him rainbow. Ace was more just like pure green. He had a few blue feathers in the back, and then the peach face, but he was more just like a pure lighter green. So I don't know if it's just because this guy is very young that his feathers are so bright, but he is gorgeous. Oh my goodness. I don't know if they get like more dull, the colors dull as they get older, but I have no idea. Ace was a pretty bird, but I didn't know that they could get this pretty. My goodness. So anyway, that was Ace. He was green, and then we got Noelle, and she was a yellow lovebird. And I got her like she was literally like a little baby. And when I got her, I had directions to like hand feed her with a syringe. Like literally, I had like this baby bird, and I had to get a little syringe, stick it into the side of her beak until she like latched on, and then like push the syringe slowly until she ate it, and then she would like suckle at it, like literally just like this little baby bird. And I raised her from the time that she was this tiny little thing, and I thought that she would end up like very hand tame, considering that I was raising her from a baby. Now, I thought that since I was raising this bird from a baby that she would be very hand tame, because I was like holding her all the time and hand feeding her, so she knew that like food was coming from me, and like that's pretty much how you win anything's love, is with food. Even me personally, you know, give me some chocolate and I'm yours forever. But yeah. I thought she would be really tame and really sweet, but she started growing up and she became like mean, like nasty. She would like hunch up like this and go with her beak and like try to peck at me. Like, I could still take her out of the cage a little bit, but she would like bite me and be horrible. And it like got to the point where I was like afraid to stick my hand in there to get her out. So she wasn't getting the attention that she really needed. And I felt bad, and eventually we did end up rehoming her. This was when I was like probably 15, 16, maybe 17-ish, somewhere between there. So I had the bird for a couple of years. I don't remember exactly when I got her, but it was somewhere between 15 to 17-ish was when all that happened with that bird. And I did rehome her. She did go to a good home. There was this woman that owned a flower shop, and I guess she wanted birds for her shop. She had like greenhouses and stuff, and she took Noelle, and she actually brought her to her shop, and like she would let her like fly around in the flower shop and in the greenhouses and stuff. So I think that's a pretty good life for a bird, where she can just like fly around with flowers and stuff. And we did hear from her later that like she started laying eggs. I don't know if they got her a mate or if she just, you know how chickens lay like dormant, unfertilized eggs? I don't know what. We didn't actually even know if it was a girl or a boy at the time, but that we thought it was a girl, so that's why we named her Noelle, but we weren't sure. But I guess that kind of verified it, that she was a girl if she started laying eggs. So yeah, I mean, it was upsetting to have to rehome this baby bird that like I had raised, but I couldn't get her out of her cage, and she wasn't being very nice, and I didn't have the capacity to give her what she needed, I guess. So he's still just sitting there on his little, he likes this little gate that I have. It's part of the dog's cage. It's like the divider that you use for puppies to like make the cage a little smaller so they don't pee in their cage. But I obviously took it out when Aura grew up, because she's not a puppy anymore and she likes to have full reign of her cage. She can put all her toys in there and stuff. But Rainbow likes to sit on that little grate back there. It's kind of cute. Oh, so yeah, that is the story of my two past birds. So I'm excited to have a new birdie to take care of, and I honestly, as long as the cat and the dog leave him alone, I think this is going to go really well. He's already really sweet. You know, even last night when he didn't want to be out, like when I took him out kind of like forcefully, he didn't bite or anything. He was very sweet. He did fall asleep in my hand, and yeah, I think we're going to be okay. I don't want to force him into anything. I want to let him bond in his own time, but I'm already bonding to him, and I hope he falls in love with me soon. He's just sitting. I think he's okay being out. He likes to just sit there on his little spot. So yeah, I think that's it. Can I say hi?
I should put some of these rocks in the bottom of his cage. I have these like river rocks that I like to collect. I put them around my tub just for fun, but look at him. He likes to sit on my little river rocks. He was climbing over these ones and then he went and sat on that one. Hi, buddy. So yeah, maybe I should put some river rocks in the bottom of his cage. Some for him to sit on. I'd like to like somehow make like some sort of like wooden platform off the side here, and then I could put like a couple rocks. That would be cool, but I'd have to figure out how to do that. Maybe my little brother can help me. He does construction. Hi, look how pretty though. What a pretty little guy. Hello. I made this little bird bath for him, but it's filled with water. He hasn't used it yet. Hi, bud. This is empty. I don't want him getting into that. It's like chemicals. Oh, careful. Careful. I think his wings are like partially clipped a little bit because I saw a jagged edge on his wings. I think it was just for like, she clipped them for, you know, transferring him so he wouldn't fly off while we're moving. Yeah, see, I don't know if you can see the little jagged edge there where his wings are partially clipped. Whoop. Whoop. Careful, I hate when he falls. All right, hey guys, I've got the little birdie here. Got him to kind of go in my hand. And see, I just kind of give him a little petting like this. This is what we do when I hold him. There we go. Got him upside down, or he can be this way if he wants. Very sweet. He's very, very sweet. So this is what I did last night, and I just kind of held him and rubbed his head a bit. He like kind of backed himself into a corner, so I went and scooped him up. And I always use this soft bag to scoop him up because it's a little easier than scaring him with my big hands. He's starting to close his little eyes. Okay, but that was good. See, it was like a little moment. We had a little moment there. I think I'm gonna let him go back in his cage because that's where he's flying off to. So, hi, bud. You wanna go back in? You going back in? Trying to see if I can see those blue. Oh yeah, there you go. See how blue and green and turquoise? That's what I wanted to show you. How beautiful. Oh, and there's that jagged piece. See, I think she clipped his feathers a little bit, which is why he can't fly that well yet. But they'll roll back. Look at that. That blue, and then it goes to turquoise, and then this bright green, and then up to yellow on his head. It's like he's like a little rainbow of colors. Hi, buddy. He's very quiet for a bird too. Ace used to like, I don't know, he was obnoxious. He loved to sing, he loved to dance. He was very, very loud. A very loud guy. Ready to go back in? There we go. And he can go in if he wants. You going back in, huh? You want to go up there? Hi. Is that fun up there? Don't poop on your sheet though. I don't know. I think I might just leave him in here and shut the door and let him chill wherever he wants. He'll go back into his cage eventually when he wants to eat. So I'm gonna shut the light because that's the only thing that could really hurt him if he knocks it over or something and whacks himself. I don't know. I feel like this lamp is kind of dangerous. So we'll move things that could possibly damage him. That's just the lamp I use for filming anyway. Oh, I forgot I have to clean the cat box too. It's a mess. Okay, so I guess I can leave my tripod on it. Worst that can happen is he poops on it. So we're gonna clean the cat litter box because it's a mess. And yeah, we'll just leave him in here. He seems like he's having fun on top of his cage, so he's like little king of the roost up here. And he can fly around in the bathroom if he wants. And I'm sure eventually he'll go back in because his food and water's in there. So good night, guys. I hope you enjoyed meeting Halo, the new bird. That's his name reveal. Yeah, I'm really, really excited to have him, and I'm sure you'll see more videos with him in the future as we get to know each other. So thanks, guys. Please like this video, subscribe to my channel, do whatever it is you're gonna do with the rest of your day, and enjoy. Peace. Bye.